Let's start with parts of the cell. Cell has three main components: plasma membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus. If we observe human cheek cells under microscope, you will see cells like this. So this outermost boundary is plasma membrane, and the fluid between this plasma membrane and centrally darkly stained body is cytoplasm, and this centrally placed darkly stained body is the nucleus. So these are the three main components: plasma membrane, and this one cytoplasm, and this centrally darkly stained body is nucleus. These are the three main components. Let's discuss all the three components individually. First one is the plasma membrane. The plasma membrane, this forms the outermost boundary of all the cells, whether plant cells and animal cells. But in the plant cell, outermost boundary is the cell wall, but here in animal cell, outermost boundary is the plasma membrane, and it is very thin membrane. It is very delicate and elastic in nature, and it is made up of phospholipids. What are the main functions of plasma membrane? Functions of plasma membrane is, as being the outermost boundary, so it will allow entry and exit of material inside the cell and outside the cell. It will allow exit of materials, it will allow entry of material, but it is selectively permeable of. That means selectively permeable means it allow entry and exit of only selective substances, like entry of nutrient molecules and exit of waste material. So it is selectively permeable membrane, very important term. Secondly, it protects the cell from injuries. Some more functions are there, but that you will study in higher classes. Let's start with the outermost boundary in the plant cell, that is cell wall. In plant cells, as they are not able to move, so they need more protection. So in case of plant cells, like if we observe onion peel cells under the microscope, it will look like this. This outermost boundary is cell wall, and in the center big vacuole is, big empty space is there, and the nucleus is at the side like this. So onion peel cells will look like this. If you peel out very thin membrane from the onion and observe under microscope, it will look like this. So this outermost boundary in plant cell is cell wall. It is made up of cellulose. And what is the role of cell wall? What is the function of cell wall? It provides protection against variation in temperature in the atmosphere, variation in atmospheric moisture, how much dryness is there, prevent from the desiccation, prevent from dryness, and thirdly, if high wind speed is there, it provides protection against that also. Let's discuss another main component of cell, that is cytoplasm. Cytoplasm is thick jelly-like fluid surrounding this nucleus between the plasma membrane and nucleus. So this thick fluid around this nucleus within the plasma membrane is the cytoplasm. So this liquid is cytoplasm. Let's discuss what are the main role of cytoplasm. So it is the site, whatever chemical reactions are occurring in the cell, they are occurring within the cytoplasm. And all cellular organelles like the mitochondria, endoplasmic reticulum, all the organelles are suspended within this cytoplasm only. So these are the two main functions of cytoplasm. Let's start with another main component of cell, nucleus. Nucleus is very important component of cell, and let's discuss what are its parts in detail. So this outermost boundary of nucleus is nuclear membrane. It is double layered and it may be sometimes in continuation with endoplasmic reticulum like this, and in the nucleus, nuclear pores is there through which material will enter inside the nucleus and will exit outside the nucleus. Second main component, there is a thick matrix in the nucleus. That thick matrix, that ground substance of nucleus, is known as the nucleoplasm. And this one, nuclear membrane. And these are the nuclear pores. So there is one or two spherical structures in the nucleus known as a nucleolus. These nucleolus are the sites of RNA synthesis, and they are rich in RNA. Their RNA stands for ribonucleic acid. They will help in protein synthesis. And most important component in the nucleus are the thread-like network is there. Thread-like structures are there known as the chromatin. They carry hereditary units on them. They will carry hereditary units known as the genes. Genes are there. So genes determine our characters, like what will be the color of hair, what will be the color of eye, length of hairs, color of skin. So characters are determined by the genes. These are the hereditary units. So these genes are responsible for transmission of characters from the parents to the offsprings. We children look like our parents. We have many similarities with our parents because what we get from the parents, these genes on the chromosomes. So these genes are hereditary units which will transmit characters from the parents to the offsprings. Let's discuss functions of nucleus. Nucleus controls all the chemical reactions of cell. Chemical reactions means all the metabolic activities of cell is controlled by nucleus. It also controls cell cycle. Cell cycle means it controls cell division. When cell will divide, how it will divide, it prepares the cell for the cell division. Third main function is it controls transmission of characters from parents to offspring through the chromatins. As a chromatin bear genes, due to that it controls transmission of characters from parents to offsprings. So these are the functions of nucleus. It's very important question. Generally in exam, a question is asked regarding, write a short note on the structure of nucleus and on the function of nucleus. Depending on type of nucleus, cells are of two kinds, prokaryotic cell and eukaryotic cell. Let's see what does prokaryotic means. Pro means primitive type of, simple type of nucleus, and karyotic means, karyon word stands for nucleus. So wherever we are using the term karyon, that is for nucleus. And you mean true, well-defined nucleus is there in the eukaryotic cells. Let's take the example of prokaryotic cell. Example of prokaryotic cell is bacterial cell. In the bacterial cell, outermost boundary is the cell wall. Just within the cell wall there is a plasma membrane. Then here genetic material, that is DNA, is single and one circular DNA is there, and this genetic material is known as the nucleoid. because there is no membrane around. This membrane is not there, no well-defined membrane is there around this genetic material. It is lying directly in the cytoplasm. So what are prokaryotic cells? We can say these are the cells which do not contain well organized nucleus, or we can say well organized nucleus, and genetic material is without any membrane, no membrane around the genetic material. Is without nuclear membrane. So such type of cell, very important definition. So such type of cell is known as the prokaryotic cells. And what are the new eukaryotic cells? Eukaryotic cells are those cells which contain well-defined membrane, well-organized membrane around the genetic material. So well-developed nucleus is present in eukaryotic cells. If we see other differences, these cells are smaller in size, and eukaryotic cells are bit larger in size, and the prokaryotic cells have no membrane bound organelles. What does it mean, membrane bound organelle? Like mitochondria is not there in prokaryotic cell, but in eukaryotic cell, like the eukaryotic cell, it can be animal cell, it can be plant cell. So well defined nucleus is there, that I have drawn earlier also. This well defined nucleus is here with the nuclear membrane, nucleus is here. So here mitochondria are there, plastids are there, can be there if plant cell is there. So plastid is there. So these membrane bound organelles are present in the eukaryotic cells, no membrane bound organelles in the prokaryotic cells. So these are the three main differences between prokaryotic and eukaryotic cells. So some more differences are there that you will study in higher classes.